A perfect death. That's the question this parasha invites me to ask, and I invite you to question yourselves as well. This week in the parasha, we part both from Miriam and from Aharon. A little bit different in the way they're described. Miriam leaves us, and we're not told exactly how that happens. Aharon, we have this amazing description. Moshe, Aharon, Elazar, they walk up the mountain. Aharon takes off his clothes, Elazar receives his garments, and Moshe and Elazar come down the mountain. Did you ever wonder for a moment what happened as they were walking up the mountain? What was the conversation between the brothers? What was the conversation between the father and son? And then how did Moshe ascend or descend, truthfully, from the mountain with his nephew? What happened in those moments, in those conversations? What would a perfect death look like? Roshi Joan Halifax, she's an anthropologist and also Roshi of a monastery in New Mexico. She asked in her book, Being with Dying, 3 questions, and she asked 3 minutes for each one of the questions. What in your imagination would be, God forbid, the worst death in the world? What, God willing, in good health to 120, would be the best death in the world? Each one only right 3 minutes. And then she asks, how are you living your life? How are we living our lives to bring us one step closer to that perfect death? The Talmud gives us multiple descriptions of what a perfect death can look like. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai on his deathbed, Rebbe on his deathbed, Rabbi Elazar on his deathbed. And the truth is, the Talmud also tells us that 7 merited to die the death of a kiss. Aharon, Moshe, Miriam, the 3 of them merited to die the death of a kiss. So I also want to offer the other question that I'm sitting with, and that is the gift of the way this parasha opens. It begins with how do we purify ourselves when we come encountered with death. And I truly believe that great teachers, they leave us with the first questions we need to answer and ask once they're not here. In the Torah, before parting from Miriam, before parting from Aharon, the Torah tells us how we can how we can purify ourselves from this moment of impurement. It is possible to come in touch with death and then to be able to enter into the world again and re-embrace life. And before we encounter the death, we're given the gift of what we do when that moment happens. So I want to ask you 2 questions. I want to offer you an imagination for a moment, in your imagination for a moment. One is the homework that Roshi Joan Halifax is leaving each one of us with. God forbid, only 3 minutes, the worst. God willing, in good health. I still say a little bit, God forbid. 3 minutes, the best. And then 3 minutes, only 9-minute homework. I never give more than 10 minutes of homework. 3 minutes of what would be that perfect death. The Talmud says that 7 died the death of a kiss. Moshe, Aharon, Miriam, they died the death of a kiss. Imagine to yourself what that would be like, that your last exhale is inhaled by the divine. God inhales our last exhale, and that the death of a kiss. I pray that we live to 120 in good health, and yet at the same time that we have the courage and the ability to ask ourselves these hard questions that will then enrich our life to walk forward in great blessings. Shabbat Shalom from Schechter.